Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state, utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be the not so secret White House, what turned into the White House meeting over releasing the Ghislaine Maxwell transcripts of the interview meeting thing that she had with Todd Blanche. Okay, the Trump's personal lawyer, who is now like number 2 in the DOJ. So yeah, there was leaked information that there was a group of them, including J.D. Vance, vice president. They were going to meet at his house originally to discuss whether or not to release these transcripts. And so then it got out, and so now, and then they thought, well, we'll just change it. It's just a White House meeting. It's like, oh, you're not fooling anybody at all. And so, yeah, I want to know what happened in that meeting. These are the questions that I have. Looking at the meeting, base reading, what else, if anything, was discussed? Will they release the transcripts? But the other piece that I want to know, are there off the record conversations that won't be released officially, but could be, like possible leaks? Now, remember, this meeting was supposed to be secret. It's supposed to happen at J.D. Vance. So, somebody leaked it to the press. So I'm a little curious about also who's leaking things from inside the White House. Okay, so do we have a form of resistance going on there? We did in the first Trump era, so I'm assuming that we would in the second Trump era. Yeah, we'll see where this reading goes, and if I don't get to it, that's just something that's kind of been on the back of my mind. Like at some point, these whistleblowers kind of want to look into that and like the leaks. So we'll see what comes out here and kind of go from there. So looking at the not so secret meeting that happened at the White House concerning Ghislaine Maxwell and her conversations that she had with Trump's personal lawyer, Todd Blanche. Let's just look at that meeting, base reading. What happened in that meeting? Base reading. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Base reading into that not so secret meeting. Oh, they were just as happy as they could be to get together. I'm also getting the feeling from this is a big old party. These are people celebrating. You know that I read the 9 of Cups when it is associated with the Trump administration as drunk on power. This is giving me that same vibes. Drunk on power. And the reason I get to the drunk on power with the 9 of Cups, it's a happiness card. And so happiness, the lower energies, overindulgence leads to drunk on power. So yeah, this was a good time for them. The challenge is, how are we going to go forward? When I heard about this meeting, I was like, if Project 2025 is trying to move Trump out, what exactly was discussed in this meeting? And the challenge is, how are we going to go forward? But yet, drunk on power, our challenge is the story's not going anywhere. I'm just feeling like this manipulation. Okay, so let's see. And maybe that's the manipulation, because that would be, cups is any of those emotions. So manipulating, how are we going forward? Let me keep going here. The options. What are we going to tell people that they will believe? What will MAGA believe? Well, they'll believe everything, but apparently you didn't count on them drawing a line in the sand that child sex trafficking was just a step too far for them. We have, this is like the sword of truth, decisions that we have to make, the past experiences. This is also like the foundation of this is we have to do something. We have to do something. We're manipulating, we're, deciding how we're going to go forward. Lies. I'm just seeing manipulation and lies, decisions about going forward. This is really causing some stress. okay, because nothing they're doing is working at moving this news cycle. And let me, before I commit too much to this Two of Wands, the Two of Wands is just coming together, making decisions and plans for the future, like looking out into the world, into the future, like what are we going to do? It's also the ships coming in card. So I'm almost wondering and getting this feeling of, let me just come back to, hold on just 1 minute. Let me finish this in my clarification on the Knight of Cups and the Two of Wands. Okay, so I see Epstein files. Sorry about that. I had an alarm going off and I need to turn it off. Okay, so that I've seen this as Epstein files, waiting and seeing, and what are we going to offer? What information are we going to offer? This is also like there's a whole lot here, but we're just going to dribble it out. We're just going to release a little bit at a time. Okay. The reason I paused just for a moment on these two cards, and I'm not entirely okay. When I first heard about this meeting and that it was going to be at JD Vance's house, my first thought and kind of gut reaction was Project 2025. And remember, I'm using that kind of as that generic holding term, that term for, the people that are manipulating and like driving, this to move Trump out and to install JD Vance. JD Vance is very well aware of what Peter Thiel and ilk are doing. Okay. And so like I almost wanted to say like he's playing both sides, but he's really not that smart. So he's just doing what he's told. That was like the bigger feeling I'm getting. Like he's doing what he's told. And so like decisions, I don't think this is JD Vance because I'm not feeling like he's this strong of a person. So whoever is driving this and telling, it's like I'm seeing Vance like carrying out the orders of whoever's driving this, okay? And, the center is like, this was the celebration card, but I'm feeling more manipulation from it and, manipulating in how we're going to go forward, okay? And so the feeling I'm getting like from that meeting, the first thing I thought of was, is this Vance trying to kind of like move the cabinet towards him, like manipulate, not that he's doing what he's being told, okay? They're telling him what to do. And so it's like, offering, an alternate narrative. I'm trying to like offering like this, oops, I got that turned around. Yeah, I'm just feeling like I'm going to offer you an alternative. There's something else that you can do. And like, we need to think about how we in this room are going to survive this. Like, that's kind of almost the feeling I'm getting, like offering them something about the future. Okay. And it's like, typically this is, like in the lower energy is going to be like offering like false friend, like you're like, don't trust them. However, this is a weird feeling I'm getting because it's like, okay, he's actually offering something of like substance, but it's still manipulation. It's still a lower energy. It's a really weird feeling. It's like, here, I'm going to give you an alternate solution. And the alternate solution is for you to support me. Now, if that didn't happen in that meeting, I'm kind of feeling like that's that energy is what I'm feeling with this. And it's like the Epstein files, they're not going anywhere. And what is it that we are going to tell the people? So that actually did happen in that meeting. I'm feeling like kind of like the undercurrent is how are we going to move the cabinet to support Vance? How are we going to move the cabinet to 25th Amendment Trump? Like, how are we going to move that support from Trump to Vance? That whole like manipulation. And I'm seeing that in those MAGA podcasters. They did, I actually thought about doing just a video and showing this. They are messing with MAGA in like you wouldn't believe. They showed it was a clip on, who did this clip? I don't remember who did the clip. It may have been Midas Touch. I'm not for sure. But it was a clip of these podcasters, and they showed a clip of John Ossoff from Georgia, and they called him. They were agreeing with what he was saying, so they're agreeing with Democratic talking points about how, hey, yeah, that's right, we should be taking care of our citizens, we should be doing this. And he sounds like white Obama. And I'm sitting there looking at that, and with my background in counseling and psychology, going, oh my God, that is a complete psyops that they are doing on the MAGA. They're moving the base away from Trump. They're going to move them over here, like way over here, and then like come back and settle on Vance is really what I'm seeing. Because it's like white Obama. So like he's a Democrat. He's also Jewish. And now we're going to be telling MAGA it's okay to listen and agree with someone who sounds just like President Obama. So if, and I'm using their words were white Obama. If they're, what I'm saying, like it was astonishing, like with that background in psychology and, human behavior, and seeing that going, oh my God, they are totally manipulating MAGA. And it was so clear and so obvious. And maybe, it was something to behold, that they are doing this. So, yeah. What I want to look at, I wanted to comment on that because that was such a weird, that was very, it was very interesting to look at that through the lens of, like, as I said, psychology and seeing what they're doing. And it's just like mind fuck to MAGA. Oh, well, at least they can be, they have figured out how to manipulate them. And so now it's like, who's going to manipulate them more, and where are they going to land? That's kind of where I don't want to look into that. That's what I'm seeing, on the, out there on those clips that, I do not watch MAGA podcasts at all. I'm only seeing the clips. Okay, and as I said, I think it may have been Midas Touch. So are they going to release to get back on track? Are they actually going to release the transcripts? Okay, so the official, on the record transcripts. Okay, are they going to release those? Okay, and with releasing those, be patient, just wait. They're actually arguing over what they should release and shouldn't release. And there's not going to be, it's like they're talking about it, but these are not action cards, okay? This, if anything, this is like holding back information. They're fighting over what to release. Be patient. I want to know, because so far it's being reported that Maxwell, who, mind you, has been convicted of perjury, which is also, called lying under oath. She is saying, it's being reported that she said she didn't see Trump do anything wrong. Okay, well, my first thought was, do we have the same definition of, the word wrong? Because, she groomed children to be sex trafficked. So, she's a convicted child sex trafficker. So, I don't think that she has the same sense of, wrong. And it's like, is she playing semantics with, I didn't see anything wrong because, like, I wasn't standing in the room, that type of thing. So what this she said is saying she didn't see Trump do anything wrong. Is this just her lying because she wants a better deal? Like, and as far as not seeing, she is going to say and do anything to get out of prison. Okay, her hopes and dreams are get out of prison. I just said, and that this is walking away. She wants out of prison, and she'll do anything. She'll lie, manipulate, anything to get out of prison. So, as far as any transcripts, you can't trust what she says, because she's, now okay. I have gotten in the past that she will confirm when Trump is named, and it's because like Project 2025 like gives her like Vance or whoever that is gives her a better deal. But right now she's willing to lie for Trump. Okay, they had her moved to that other prison. Is this to entice her to be on their side? Or is this to make there? I've seen mixed reactions to her being moved. It's like, oh, low security. You mean is she gonna accidentally like suicide herself, or is this just to entice her to lie for them? Okay, what was the purpose of moving her? Just kind of get a whole lot of Ghislaine Maxwell stuff out of the way. Promises made in the past. This is also nostalgia and children. They know what she did. They know they know what she knows. She's got the receipts about what happened, and she's got choices to make. I think that it's both. I think it's like, look at what we can do. We can move you. Even a registered child sex convicted child sex trafficker, we can move you to a nice cushy place that you should not be at. We will bend the rules for you, but notice too, the other choice is we can either help you or not. That is exactly what that is. Okay, so when this is all said and done, how does Ghislaine Maxwell come out of this? Because I got, if anything, she wouldn't get a pardon. She might get her, like if she was going to get anything, it was going to be her sentence commuted. So how does she come out of all of this? She holds the receipts. And she is more than happy to release them to the highest bidder. Yeah. Who's going to give her the better deal is where she's going to land. And that 7 of, to be able to defend herself, to overcome. This is a card of either needing to defend yourself or you're able to overcome what you're defending against. So yeah, that's what she's going to take the better deal. She will say whatever she needs to say. So yeah. So anything else was discussed? I think, what else is it that she knows? That's going to be off the record. Off the record, are we going to learn any off the record conversations? Are we going to learn about any off the record conversations? And off the record conversations, this is, I've said these two cards remind me, very much of, they're very similar. Okay. They're both minor arcana, but this is definitely going to be the stronger card. This is, wealthy woman. She's got the receipts. Any off the record things that are being, I'm going to see this as things that she's keeping close to her heart. Like she's not releasing everything. Like she's not telling everything she knows. Okay. And once again, looking at her options. Looking at her options. What's the better deal for her? So, yeah. What else? So they're not going to release those right away. Meg is definitely being manipulated. I think that they discussed with her, do you like these, accommodations? You can stay here if you lie for us. If you don't, there's other things that we can do. Okay. Moving her almost feels like a power move. Like this is what we can do. We can make your life very nice or not. Okay. That's what I'm feeling with that. So, pick up some of these cards. Is there any final, let me just do any final messages here. Any final, just 3 cards that we need to know about this Epstein files, Ghislaine Maxwell, secret meetings, that whole ill. Any final messages, 3 cards that we need to know. Okay, and final messages, 3 cards. They've made agreements for new beginnings, and they've offered her, they have shown her what her options are. You know, behind door number 1 is pretty cushy. Behind door number 2 is you follow the path of Mr. Jeffrey there. So, and new beginnings. What is it that you're going to choose, and what is it you're going to choose? Okay, I think that this information is going to come out really before she has a choice. So, and this is offering her, you know. So, what is she going to choose? I know I said one more question. I always say one more question. So, and then usually ask another, you know, 3. So what is this thing, you know, what is this offer, and what's she going to choose? She's not made up her mind. She is willing to lie for them, and the agreements made, you know, like in the dark. But I feel like I have said this is going to be coming out before this, before the Trump deal happens. Okay. So, yeah. I am feeling like Project 2025 is driving this. I've said that, and the proof that we need that this is not going anywhere is that Project 2025 is, you know, is driving this, and they are wanting to install Vance. Okay, I don't think that's a big secret. Is that really an intuitive moment, or is that a, you know, look out at the weather kind of moment and go, oh yeah, it's raining. You know, rain is falling from the sky. It's raining. You know, yes, they are absolutely. Manipulating the situation. I get this feeling like that Vance is kind of like reading the room, trying to figure out why they can't have Vance doing this. They've got to have somebody else doing this, because Vance does not have what it takes to like read a room quite literally. So they've got to have somebody in there that is trying to kind of like gauge where people are and who can we move to support Vance. Like, and that secret meeting that's not so secret anymore, that was kind of like the beginnings of that. That's kind of what I'm feeling with that. As far as releasing Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony, I don't. If they do, it's not going to do what they think it's going to do. It's not going to appease MAGA at all. Not at all. Have they offered her some? Yes. And I really think, I think that it's like, here, look at what we can do. This is the power we have. We can put you in a prison that you really are not supposed to be in, but we can bend the rules for you, or we can put you back and we can, you know, we can Epstein you. So some version of that, that's the energy, you know, around like those talks that they had. There was definitely on the record conversations and off the record conversations. Her saying that she didn't see Trump do anything wrong. It's like, you know, liar, liar, pants on fire, you know, no. She's playing semantics with the word wrong, you know, so, or see, she didn't see anything wrong. It's like, why? Because you didn't follow him into the room. And anyway, so yeah, I think that this is a mess that Trump is in, and it is not going anywhere, and it is only going to get worse. So love that so much for him. So thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and I will put another video up here for you to watch. Trying to think what I'll put up there. I may put that first energy reading up, because by the time probably this post, we have been coming into like those first 2 weeks, and that might be a nice revisit whenever I look to, because I will be going back and doing an update to those videos. So yeah, I think I'll put the energy reading up there, the first one. So thank you very much for joining me. I will catch you on the next reading, and have a very nice day.